The first question, very open-ended. Do you feel you made the right decision to go into psychiatry, and can you please elaborate why? And let me start again with Dr. Krugley.
I would say unequivocally the answer is yes. Um, I was although this was, I don't know how directly connected it was. I was a psychology major as an undergraduate at City College in New York, but I went into medical school with an open mind. I found, even at the medical school level, I found psychiatry to be intellectually exciting. And I still remember my first day of residency, which was actually on Labor Day weekend, and I was on call. And I was assigned to cover the Kings County Hospital, what at the time was called G Building, which was a separate building on the Kings County campus, a true nut house. Very, very busy. 50 emergency room visits a day, half of whom were admitted 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. And my first exposure that first day was to cover the emergency room. And I still remember that as being one of the most exciting days of my life. That first day, I said, I'm in the right place. This is for me. And at that time, there weren't even that many psychiatric beds or emergency services in the entire borough of Brooklyn, which is 2.5 million people. So it was a very, very busy place, very exciting. We saw incredible, not only numbers, but range of pathology, range of presentations. Brooklyn's not organized like that anymore, but it was thrilling. And I went from there to Bellevue Hospital was my first job, and I got a lot of great experience there as well. So I've had ultimately went into geriatric psychiatry, and I've had as I said in the original introduction, over 40 years in the field, and I've had a great career. Don't really regret any of it. The last 2 years have been, when I say last 2 years, I mean the COVID years have been a little bit more problematic. I don't know how everybody else has been affected by that, but overall, I would say I have no regrets whatsoever. Had a great career, learned a lot, taught a lot of people, other psychiatrists, psychiatric nurse practitioners, psychologists, medical students, geriatric psychiatry fellows. So it's been very gratifying for me. The patients I treat, the families that I have worked with, all very gratifying. As we know, can't help everybody, but when you do get the opportunity to actually make a difference in someone's life, and they acknowledge it, it still remains a very gratifying experience for me. So I encourage everybody who's listening out there to get excited, stay excited. It's actually the field is going to, I think, evolve in a very positive and interesting way over the next 10 years. Not sure how long I'll be around to see it, but I'm very excited about what the future holds for psychiatry.
Thank you very much, Dr. Krugley. What an incredible career, and thank you for mentioning so many different stops along the way. Dr. Wakim, same question. Do you feel that you made the right decision, and why?
Yeah, I'll echo. I don't quite have the experience as Richard, but I will echo the fact that when I landed in psychiatry, when I started medical school, I'm an individual who wouldn't have been able to tell you the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist. But when I ended up picking psychiatry, I saw, to extrapolate from what Richard said, a lot of both opportunity and purpose. And there's a lot of specialties in medicine that maybe don't quite have the same opportunity in it into the future. There's so much we still even don't know today about the brain and brain function. And so, the opportunity to get involved with interventional and some of the stuff, that we're kind of leaning towards into the future now has been extraordinarily rewarding for me and very purposeful. And again, to Richard's point, we can change lives in a different way. We're not performing, brain surgery, but we are in our own way, and we can save lives without touching a patient. Now, not if you're doing interventional, but we can engage with people and change a life without ever having to pick up a scalpel. And for me, that was a really cool concept. And again, I found a lot of purpose and opportunity in doing that. So don't regret my decision, and looking forward to many more years and what the field will look like over the next 5 to 10 years specifically.
Thank you, Dr. Wakim, very much. Dr. Carter, lastly, do you feel like you made the right decision to go into psychiatry, and why?
I was telling my students just a couple of days ago that I didn't really choose psychiatry. It chose me. I had been convinced I was going to be a pediatrician and that I was going to save young lives and do all that. Realized very quickly that my favorite part of my job was talking to kids, not helping folks with runny noses and talking about their issues at home and in school. I come from an education background, so it was really important for me to integrate those things that were just so important to me and understand those types of issues. And psychiatry, particularly child psychiatry, was what really drew me to that. I will back up and reiterate everything that the other two gentlemen have said. It's very true. Prozac, one of the newest, SSRIs that's not so new anymore, came out within my lifetime. And it's become the standard of care. It's consistently changing with interventional psychiatry, with medications, the way that we're interacting and understanding the brain. It's the forefront of medicine at this point. And I tell all of my students and residents is I may never treat diabetes again, but you can guarantee that if they're in another specialty, they'll be interacting with a psychiatrist or psychiatry patient going forward. That also being said, just would reiterate too, with the mental health shortages that there are in the US, the job that you want and crave can be created and molded into whatever you want it to be. And so if it's inpatient work, outpatient work, a little bit of both, if you want to work in residentials, if you want to work within schools, if you want to choose a certain population that's important to you, Native American mental health, LGBTQ mental health, there are tracks and niches across the board that you can choose. And some of those have fellowships, some of them have extra training, but you can really make your psychiatric future and your career into whatever you want at this point.